I'm Andy Pilgrim with Automobile Magazine, and I'm at NCM Motorsports Park today with a Porsche 911 Turbo S, and I'm going to take it on track. Porsche Turbo S, the executive's rocket ship, essentially. Heaviest 911, still not a heavy car. All-wheel drive, that adds quite a bit of weight to these cars, that's most of the reason. But they are quiet when you want them to be quiet, they are compliant when you're going down the street, and they really move. 0 to 60 is basically shove your filling straight down your throat. It's like 2.6 seconds from 0 to 60. It's absolutely stupidly fast off the line. The Turbo S has a top speed of 205 miles an hour apparently. We have not tested that, and we will not be testing that today. If you've got a 200 mile an hour top speed, you need some brakes. 410 millimeter front brakes, 6 piston calipers, huge, 16 inches. I had a Volkswagen Rabbit with 13-inch wheels years ago, and it was kind of sporty. 16-inch rotors is just ridiculous. And on the back, 390 millimeter rotors, again, 15 and a half inch rear rotors with 4 piston calipers. These brakes like this, you put this thing on track, I am absolutely convinced there will be 0 brake issues. The Turbo S has the traditional lines. It has more the soft wing on the back that actually extends up. You're going to see that working on track. So inside the Turbo S, again, it smells so good in these cars. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they've got so much leather in here. It's just a very, very pleasant place to be and just sit. This car comes standard with multi-way adjustable electric seats, and they support you extraordinarily well. Something that we don't talk about all the time on the Porsches is the ignition. The ignition is on the left. There's a lot of people that maybe aren't experts in the field or real enthusiasts would just maybe wondering why Porsche has an ignition switch on the left. Well, it was going back to the old Le Mans days, and when the drivers would run across the racetrack and they would get in the car, somebody at Porsche figured out if we have the left hand to turn the ignition on and you have the right hand free, you can shove it into gear at the same time you're turning the ignition on, and it will save time between somebody who's doing this and then goes back to put it in gear, so you could turn it on. That's where it comes from, and by tradition, and because Porsche has such an incredibly strong GT and racing background, they've left it there, and I think it's very, very cool. It's a sports car, and we talk a bit of practicality with the car. It's a 911, and people say, oh, it's not practical at all, but with the Turbo S, you've got quite a bit of room in the back, actually. I don't want to get in there, but could I get in there? I'm going to get in behind where I would be. All right, and there we go. Cool. And then, okay, I'm going to do that. It's like, hang on, let me see. I think I might be able to do it. All right, here we go. I'm going to put the seat forward and just see if there's any point at which I will not need the emergency room if I actually bring the seat all the way back. Here we go. Oh dear. Okay, that was close. Hang on a minute. There we go. It's all the way forward, and I am in the back with the seat all the way down. Cool. That's good, right? Well, it's not very practical, and my hat is really getting squashed, which is not good for my hat. So that's the seat all the way. Okay, now the seat's all the way forward. So I can just about do that. So I will extricate myself from the car like this. Okay, yoga, years of yoga have really helped. So if I get back in the front, oh God, oh God. Okay, I can actually drive it like this. So it's not the most practical thing. Of course it's not supposed to be, but several of my friends who have these cars that have the little back seat in the 911s, and all the 911s, the regular 911s have the little back seat. Several of my friends have them, but they won't get rid of them. So their kids end up with all kinds of chiropractic issues because they have to grow up with dad with a 911 that he won't get rid of. All joking aside, there is some room in the back there for younger kids, and it's fun. They love these cars. And here is the engine of the Turbo S, because it says Turbo S and it's an engine. This is all you can see, actually. You'd have to get underneath it and pull things off to actually see it. There's your oil fill, there's your water fill, and it's very efficient back here. It's very neat back here. So that's all you get, I'm afraid, guys. You don't get to see an engine. So here's a lap of NCM Motorsports Park in the Turbo S. Heading into turn 1, 148, 149 miles an hour on the clock. That's quick. It's really quick. The car moves well. The Pirelli courses are sticky. Kind of sliding the car quite a bit. I'm trying to get the back end to move. Here we go on the straightaway up to turn 5. A lot of horsepower, 580 horsepower in this car. It really pulls well. Coming into turn 5, watch the hands on this one. I've got the rear end moving around quite a bit, and I have to catch it a couple of times. Turn 6, got to the apex, and this up jamming it, making that four-wheel drive really pull out of the corner. Tried to turn it into 7. You can see she was really trying to over-rotate going in there. Coming out of 8. Got a nice run out of 8, didn't want to push out there, always waste his time. 110 down to turn 10 is good. Got it turned, patience through here as we always talk about, and then just let it grunt. All 4 tires ripping this thing up there. It's phenomenal acceleration. This car, you can use the curbs a lot, and the chassis being a bit more compliant, the suspension, it's actually not bad over the curbs. A lot of sliding through there. We don't have the downforce that you have in a GT3 this car, so it does slide more, but the sticky Pirelli coursers are doing a really good job. They're actually stickier than the Michelin Cup 2s, and I can feel that this car is pulling some really good speed. Even without the downforce, the mechanical grip is really helping. Using the curb through here, it doesn't bother the car, and definitely need to use it a little bit. Got a really good run out of here onto the straight. 100 miles an hour up against the wall, no downforce car, that's pretty good. 2:11.05. That's slightly quicker than I managed, less than 1/10 quicker than I managed in the GT3. Even though this car is the executive rocket ship, if you choose to take it on track, we just proved that it's got tremendous capability running a time about the same as a Porsche GT3. Yep, the tires are a little bit different, that's true, but the capability is there. It's an all-round package, very balanced. If you've got the money and you want a car that's an awful lot of fun and you may be running across the country every now and then, this is the perfect vehicle for you.